Okay, happy Tuesday. I will say that correctly. Happy Tuesday, Inspire Beauty. I am excited to chat with you guys tonight. Usually we have Monday night team trainings. This week we did not have one because of the Labor Day holiday, but I love to do pop-up trainings. And to kick off September strong, I wanted to do a new/newer coach training, getting started right call. So welcome. I'm so excited that you guys are here tonight. If you don't know me and we've never met in person or even just through the social media world, I am Brittany Frost, and I am the proud founder of our team, Inspire Beauty. And so wherever you fit within our team, whoever your upline coach is, I'm just so excited to get to pour into you guys tonight and talk about how I found success in this business and what's working right now for new coaches. It's really cool, actually. I invited not just new coaches on here, but I saw a new fire in some coaches. And so I told coaches who had like a new flame in them to get on this call too. Keep that flame burning, right? When we get closer to the fire, that's when I tend to see us doing so much better in our businesses. So tonight, I'm going to be talking all about the things that I've been in this business almost 7 years now that I know are tried and true, because they're the stinking things that I do day in and day out to have a wildly successful Beachbody business. But even more than that, to have wild success at making an impact in people's lives. I think that's the really, really cool thing about what we do as coaches is our job starts when someone says yes. When that person pays for that challenge pack and they share their goals with you and you've inspired them to get to that point where they're like, you know, I think I want to do this thing, right? Because of you and you showing up in your journey, you've inspired them. When they finally say yes, that's when your job begins. That's when you get to pass the torch over and say, okay, now I want you to get the same results and fall in love with it the same way that I did, right? And so that's when our job starts. So it's really a special business, I think, to be a part of, because we don't have a transaction and then our relationship is done. In fact, our relationship begins when the transaction happens and then continues to grow and foster from there. So this business is simple. Please do not get it twisted tonight. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing network marketing and be thriving and successful at it. And I'm sure somewhere along the way, you've met somebody or encountered somebody on social media who has done some sort of network marketing or MLM, or multi-level marketing. Basically, it's direct sales, right? And they work for a company like Rodan & Fields that's selling skincare products, or maybe they were working for LuLaRoe at some point doing leggings or whatever that looked like. And you've seen somebody, I'm sure, in your tenure of life that did network marketing poorly, where you felt like a little grossed out by maybe the way they presented themselves on social media, or they came across as icky or salesy. And we've thought to ourselves, myself included, I don't want to be like them, right? And I want you to rest easy. You don't have to be like those people, quote unquote. But I will tell you that this business, although it's simple, it does take work. And it takes a lot of time and consistency doing it. So the simple parts of this, though, are that you take care of yourself. You press play on a program, you drink your shake, you read a book. I mean, that's really the simplest part. You work on yourself, mind, body, spirit, okay? And so I think that sometimes we take that for granted, right? But your journey as a coach of what you're doing in your programs, what you're doing in your nutrition journey, what you're doing in your mindset and your heart set, that's continuing to evolve. You are always going to be peeling back layers on who you are, what maybe is holding you back in life. And there's always going to be a next evolution of that. People love watching the process. Something that newer coaches love to tell me is like, or a coach that isn't ready to start yet, they'll tell me, I'm not in shape enough yet to help others, or I'm not at my goal weight yet. And so when I get there, that's when I'll be able to coach others. But unfortunately, perfection doesn't sell, right? Like real raw, that's what sells. When somebody shows up every day, they make me believe that I can do it too. And so sharing your journey, even if you're not there yet, is so, so, so important, because it gives other people hope. You're not just this perfect polished image on social media, this influencer that has so many people and just seems like life just is so easy for her, right? Like you are juggling this around your 9 to 5. You are getting your workout in early in the morning, and you're having to meal plan on the weekends, and find time in your day to plug some ear pods in and listen to maybe a podcast that'll help you grow. And you're doing it, and that's inspiring others who are busy, who have other hats to wear and juggle, that they can do it too. So I want you to understand that you sharing your journey, it goes so much deeper than what you probably even realize, right? It's also important, simplify this. You have to invite others along with you. I think of every group that I run, we call them challenge groups. If you haven't created a group yet, that's where we hold our people accountable. We'll talk about it here in a couple of minutes, exactly what that looks like. But in your group, you've probably been a part of a group. And in those groups, we invite others to join us and do it along with us, right? We're the accountability. We're like the fit BFF. We're like that nagging voice in the ear that's like, hey, did you get your workout done yet, right? That's what you are for other people. You are their accountability. You don't have to be a nutritionist. You don't have to be a fit pro. You don't have to be any of that stuff. You just need to be willing to say, hey, let's do this together, right? And when you say it like that, it becomes a lot more simple to then send out the invite to somebody else to join you. It doesn't feel icky or salesy or weird. You're simply just recommending something, just like if you had dinner at a restaurant and it was incredible and you loved the meal, you would tell other people about it and you tell them, hey, you should check out this restaurant. It was incredible, right? You invite others along with you in things that you believe in and love. Okay, so the more that you're on your journey, sharing your journey, falling in love with your journey, the easier it is to tell other people about it. So this is where the consistency and time come into play. And we call them your vital behaviors in Beachbody. And just like vital, your vitals, your doctor's gonna check your vitals if you go in for a checkup to see if you're okay. These are your vitals. Like this is your upline coach. That's their check-in point with you. What have you been doing your vitals? And we have 4 of them in this business. One is being proof of the products. That's your journey, right? The second vital, and we have them right here on our trackers that we use, but the second vital is connecting with others and inviting them along. Yeah, so being a human, loving other people, serving them, and bring them along with you. Okay. The third one is where we recognize and celebrate other people, so that we get people the results that are already joining us. So we celebrate them along the way. And then the fourth one is personal and professional development, self-growth, working on your mindset muscles too. I always say that the most weight someone ever has to lose is never on their body. It's always between their ears. That's where the heaviness is. That's where the weight lingers. And so as coaches, we also have to work on that. We also have to train our minds just the same way we train our bodies. Okay? So let's talk about mindset then on that note. Mindset is everything, you guys. My transformation is not as much external as it is internal. I am a completely different Brittany than somebody who, if you had known me 7 years ago when I said yes to this business, completely different human being, okay? And it's all about mindset. There's going to come a day where your journey gets hard, where your workouts get hard, or you get burnt out of something, or you get bored, or you feel stuck, or you feel like you're alone in this and no one else understands what you're going through. There's going to come a day where something is going to feel hard. And podcasts and books that work on your mindset help me feel less alone. They show me that other people who are on this same path and lifestyle have also encountered these same obstacles, and this is how they've persevered. And that gives me hope. So this is why it's important, because there will always, I don't care who you are, there will come a day where you hit a wall with something, and the only way to get through that wall is to work on your mindset. Okay, so the book we're currently reading this month is called The 5 a.m. Club. This one is awesome. If you've never read personal growth, by the way, when I started, I thought self-help books were like for people who really needed help, and that wasn't me. And I was like, nope, that's for people who like need help. I don't need help. I'm good. And so I thought this was like a woo-woo, like kumbaya kind of thing. It has changed my life, you guys. It has changed my life simply by plugging into 10 pages or 10 minutes a day of listening to something that is different than what we hear on the news, is maybe different than what you hear in the break room, maybe different than what you're hearing, gossiped around you or in general. Like, go into any public setting, and the things you're hearing in these books and podcasts are likely very different than the general population. So they're really helpful. They're helpful for turning all those can'ts into cans and whatnot, right? So we're currently reading the 5 a.m. Club, and this one is fun if you've never done anything like this before, like I was saying, because it reads as fiction. So it's kind of fun because it is a personal growth, self-development, mindset growth book, but it's written in a fictional setting. So you have characters that you kind of get to know, and a plot line and a little story too. So it's really fun. It's a good one. No, you do not have to get up at 5 a.m. if that's not your time jam, but it will open your eyes to how powerful a morning routine truly is, and how the most successful people in the world truly get up first. Some podcasts, because I know when I started my business, I was a full-time elementary school teacher, super busy. I was a yes man. I said yes to everything except for myself. So I had no time in my day. So everything had to be on the go. So these are 4 of my very favorite podcasts that are really great for a couple different reasons. So Empower Her with Keisha Fitzgerald. Keisha actually is a Beachbody coach, but she has gone on to also create some a growth business, and she's just an awesome entrepreneur. So she has a great perspective because she knows network marketing, she knows Beachbody, but her podcasts are quick. A lot of times you can get in a quick 15-minute pep talk from her, and she is full of energy. So if you need that boost, she's your girl. The next one is Josh Coates, your push coach. He talks a lot about network marketing. He talks about strategy. He talks about inviting. He talks about getting over yourself. He does have a faith background, but he is no BS. So I love that combination. And I love the male perspective too, because sometimes as women, we put our emotions on things. I know myself at least. And so I love his male perspective where he kind of takes the emotional aspect out of things and says, no, like, let's take that lens away and this is what it is. So he's really great, especially when it comes to this particular business. The next one is Be You Unapologetically. It's really hard to see that. Be You Unapologetically. She actually, Kyra Carlin, is also a Beachbody coach, but she, to me, is like the mother hen that just needs to like tell you that you're enough, you know what I mean? And tell you that you got this. And so I love hers. They're quick, but she's also, sometimes she's a little tough love, but a lot of times these are just like really great motivational, like, podcast that I can get in and just get a good word and feel like I've been filled up for the day. And then Quote of the Day show, Sean Croxton, he takes clips that he finds on other podcasts, YouTube, wherever. He takes clips and he makes a daily podcast that's just that like clip. So he takes really famous speakers and he just gives you the best of their best. Yeah. So these are really great ones. And they're also, for the most part, pretty quick. This one is probably the longest one, and sometimes he's maybe around 30 minutes, but everything is pretty quick. So these are must jot downs. If you haven't jotted them down, do it now or screenshot. Empower Her, Your Push Coach, Be You Unapologetically, and the Quote of the Day show. And then right now we're reading The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. And I talk about mindset being everything, you guys, because it's just like the oxygen mask analogy. If I'm not doing well in my head, how the heck can I serve other people and help them do well, right? It's hard. It becomes challenging. And in this business, you deal with people. You'll deal with rejection. You'll deal with someone who told you the biggest goals they had laid on their heart, you guys, only to find out that they really weren't ready to work on them. And so sometimes your heart breaks because you're like, I know how much this woman or this man or whoever needs this, yet they're not ready. And so it becomes difficult sometimes because we're here serving, we're in a servant position where we're serving and supporting others on their goals, but you can't go do it for them, right? And so that's why mindset is so important. That's going to be one of the first questions I would ever ask one of my coaches when they're struggling is, what are you reading right now? What are you reading or listening to that's lifting your spirit or that's helping you personally or professionally with some area of struggle? Because we're all struggling. So find, those were recommendations that I gave you. There's so many more out there, you guys. And I'm happy to share even more with you if you need. But you also need to know it's personal. So things that speak to me, if you turn on one of those podcasts, you're like, I can't listen to that ever again. I don't want you to deem personal development as like an X. I want you to think like, okay, maybe this one just wasn't for me, and there's other stuff out there that will speak to you in your season, right? Okay, so we help and support others, which is why we need to work on our mindsets. Put the oxygen mask on first before helping others, right? How do we do this? Well, again, maybe you've been in a challenge group or a bod group. These to me are like the brick and mortar of your business, right? And so I tell people all the time, you know, if I were to open up a Starbucks, I wouldn't tell people, hey, I'm going to open up a Starbucks. It's not open yet, but do you want to come in and get a coffee once it's open? They'd be like, I guess, like, sure, let me know. But it'd be different if you said, hey, I just opened up a Starbucks on the corner of 7th Street and, you know, Martin Luther King. and I want you to come in and grab a cup of coffee and tell me what you think. They'd be like, cool, I'll be there at 5, right? Like, they have more clarity. So a lot of times as new coaches, we think, oh, I'll wait until I have somebody to help and then I'll open up a group. But I think it's reverse. It's like, if you build it, they will come, right? That kind of idea. You need to have your group ready and then invite people into it. So some of you who have already been inviting people, and maybe you have a couple people who've already joined you, that is enough for you to have a group up and functioning to help support those people. You're allowed to create a group. You're allowed to put people into your coaches groups. Absolutely. Like, we totally, you know, I've got coaches on our team in my group, and they take some, you know, some of the things they love from my group and they apply it to their own groups, and we're always constantly sharing. That's fine. But I want you to know that people want you. They're joining you for a reason. So if they hear my voice all day, every day, first of all, that's not who they joined to be motivated by. They joined to be motivated by you, right? But second, when you're talking about your groups, you have so much more ownership of it when you're the one who's behind it, when you're the voice behind it, creating that content, right? You know, like, I'm excited about my group for September because I know what's going to happen. I know what I'm going to talk to them about. I know what I'm sharing with them. And so I'm able to invite people from a platform of confidence because I'm super excited about what I'm offering, right? And I think the same is true. So this is what we invite people to, is our groups, right? We invite them there, and that's where we support them. Like I said, we're not one-on-one personal trainers. We're just accountability partners, okay? Beachbody doesn't need another billboard for them. They have marketing. They are, you know, they're a very successful company, but what they were missing, and why the coach opportunity began back in 1998, is they were missing the fact that people were getting things like Insanity or P90X, and it was getting shipped to their house, and then they weren't doing it, right? It sat on the shelf. And so what Beachbody was missing was success stories. They needed people to press play and drink their shake and do the thing. And what they needed was somebody to help support and motivate those people, right? And so that's what we are. We're the accountability partners. We're the motivators. And you don't ever have to be afraid to say, I don't know the answer to that yet, but I'll find it out for you, right? That's an awesome line to learn, because you don't have to have all the answers for things, okay? Your people will get all the tools that they need. Just like when you started, you got, you know, your shakes, you got your Energize, you got your recovery, you got your Beachbody On Demand, you got all the tools that you needed. All you needed was the person to believe in you enough to complete it, right? So that's what's really fun, is we get to motivate and love on people, and we get to do it all together, right? And so I don't want you to overthink this. A lot of times it's like, oh, if I need 10 people, and then when I have 10 people, I can have a group. No, if you have one person, that one person needs you to help them. So help them. This team started with just me. There was no one else. And now we have so many coaches on it, and it's amazing. It's like a dream freaking come true. And that can be your story too, but it has to start with you, and it has to start with one, and then one more, and then one more, right? How do you get to 10 people in your group? How do you get to 100 people in your group? One at a time. Yeah, so help the one. So your homework when you get off this call, if you have not ever created a bod group, I want you to create a bod group. I want you to play around. Go to beachbodyondemand.com. There's a bod group tab. You click on it. It's super easy to create one, you guys. But I want you to have one so that you have somewhere you can put people once they say yes, right? Okay, so that's homework number one. So how do we actually, and by the way, if you have questions at all while I'm talking or anything needs clarification, drop it in the chat, and I promise you I will get to it, or somebody else can get to it if they see it ahead of me. But how do you actually work the business, quote unquote, work it? Like, okay, I get it. Like, I'm doing my thing, like whatever. How do I work it? Well, there's this tracker we have. It's called the Success Club System Business Activity Tracker. It's a lot of words. It's basically a checklist, right? It's a checklist of the most important tasks that you should do daily at least 5 days a week, I would say, in order to move the needle forward on your business. Now, everybody's different. Some people have really big, audacious, like crazy dreams of leaving their corporate job and becoming a full-time coach, and that's so possible. Other people have different, they want something to fill them up because they're a stay-at-home mom, and they just feel like that's all they've given their life to, and they want something for them, and they want to contribute in the household. This is possible. Some people want to pair this along with a 9-to-5 because maybe they're a nurse and they're in the healthcare, but they want to prevent the people that they see on a daily basis from coming in their doors. And so the preventative care side of things is this business. That's possible to do it tandem, to do it together, right? Wherever you are, some people just freaking love this and just love the vibe and the community, and it's like so much fun for them, and that's why they want to pair this with whatever else their life looks like. Whatever it is for you, there's space for it, and there's a coach in the business right now doing it successfully. Okay, so I don't want you to think like, oh, my story is different than her, so maybe I can't be successful. No. What every successful coach is doing, though, are these 4 things that I told you: your vital behaviors, be proof of the products, connect with other people, invite them and follow up with people, get people results and celebrate them, do personal development. It's literally that easy. Remember, we said it was simple, and here's your checklist. This is located, and I'm going to show you some things here in a second, but this is located on our team page. And I always suggest to print out enough copies for the remainder of the year. They always update it a little bit at the top of the new year, so I wouldn't print off like way too long into 2021, but print off enough for the rest of this year and spiral bind it. This is what I do. I take it to a little office supply store, and this cost me like $4 to have them spiral it, and then I have it, I can take it with me on the go, and I always have it with me every day. It's my checklist of the most important tasks to move the needle forward. The other way you can stay accountable is we love to share these. Like last week, Amanda, we have a business collaborative page. So if you're not on that page and you're interested in learning more about the business side of things, absolutely request to join that page and I'll add you in. But on that business page, even Amanda last week said, drop your power hours, share your trackers from the week. And so we hold each other accountable like that. We also hold each other accountable by dropping our Zoom links and sharing, hey, I'm going to work right now if anybody wants to hang out with me. Just like we do that for our workouts. Does anybody want to work out with me right now? I'm going to drop my Zoom link. We do the same thing with our businesses. And guided action hours always happen every week. So you can see the pinned weekly announcement that I do every week for the times that week it's going to be offered, and then pencil it into your planner, the ones that work with your time zone, okay? Before I do this, let me stop share. I want to switch the share over to the team page really quick and show you some resources before I share with you the last little bit. We okay? Everybody doing okay? All right. So on the team page, I'm looking at the, obviously the computer view, but on your discussion, you should see, let me see here. It's always ever changing. Where is my pinned post today? Let's refresh this. On the mobile view, which is what most of you are probably often looking at, the pinned post should be, let's see here. They're always updating. If somebody knows where, I can't see it right now on mine. And this recent update, I'm not seeing the pinned post. But every week I pin to the top, if Facebook would behave with me, I usually pin a calendar up here. I'm just gonna pull up this week's calendar. Let me show you. So every week it looks like that, the little calendar, and it shows you what's happening that week. So number one, that's really important. I post them usually on Sunday nights to check out what's going down for the week. I also share in events, what events we're having through the week too. So team call events, if we're doing any sort of pop-up training on Tuesdays like this one, our weekly workouts that we do, book clubs, things like that always get posted. Okay, but the units tab is where I really want you to spend some time because this is where I have given you everything you need to be successful. So again, with that question of how do I work the business, if you went to school today to become an elementary school teacher and you were in a 4-year college program for that, that's what I did. I did a 4-year college program for that. And I spent 4 years in a classroom just learning how to be a teacher before I was ever placed into an actual classroom And then even in the classroom, every year I learned and got better at my craft and better. And yes, did I hit obstacles when I was a school teacher? Absolutely. Did I have years where, or situations that came up that I'd never experienced before? 100%, right? Even teachers right now are experiencing something they've never experienced before. So it's normal to feel like you're constantly learning. I think sometimes as adults, we take away this idea that like we feel like we should have everything figured out already. In reality, everything we need time to learn. This is no different. This is just like getting a degree or getting a job. And so no, you will not be perfect at it at day one. And trust me, even a year into your business, you will have plenty to learn. Like I said, I'm almost 7 years into my business, still learning, evolving, growing all the time, okay? So New Coach University is the very first unit here. And it starts off with a new coach guide. This is amazing and something you'll want to print off if you haven't yet. And then you can go through one lesson at a time, learning how to set up your direct deposit, how to invite. The 4 vital behaviors are here, and that's where I have a link to your tracker. Okay, so when you go through this New Coach University, it's self-paced and it's all in here for a reason, because it's all of the most important things that you do need to know. But here's where that tracker is, so you can print that off, okay? But let me go back to where I just was. But it basically takes you through everything, through inviting, through how to use a share a cart, how to post on social media, how to follow up with people when people tell you that it costs too much, right? Like there's lessons for everything. So going through this is really important. After this one though, I do have one called our Coach Quick Start. And it's a little quicker training, but I think both of these are very important. If you're brand spanking new, this one is so important. The New Coach University is really important to go through self-paced. If you've been a coach for a while and need a refresher, or you've already done Coach University and you're ready for more, this Coach Quick Start is super awesome. It's about 7 lessons or so, and it's really laser focused in on who do you want to help, why do you want to help them, and how can you target everything you do content-wise on social media to really laser focus towards that, okay? And so it's kind of just a quick start into all of that. And every team training I've ever recorded is here. There's so many resources, FAQs, Shakeology recipes. Every week I do a new meal plan and I put it here for you guys. Lately the PDFs have been difficult to see on mobile devices, so check on your computers. There's workout calendars, and we have like a prep calendar coming out for a new program. Just amazing things that you're gonna want to look at. Scripts for how to invite. If you want to send a free trial calendar or a free email to somebody who just does a bod trial, I've got information there. How you get new challengers started. And then this is even our current little challenge that we just did with the MBF. And honestly, guys, these are posts. You could literally take these and use them if you wanted to run your own MBF group. You could take it and then go use it in your groups, right? This business is a business of duplication. So everything I have is for you guys to take and then go ahead and make great use of it. So let me just show you the last thing and we'll wrap up. If you guys have questions, I'd be happy to answer them too here at the end. So first goals, you guys. As a brand new coach or a coach who's like trying to dust the cobwebs off and get going again, commit to completing a bod workout program and share that journey from start to finish. Okay? If you've never completed one, commit to completing your very first one. Share it from start to finish and go all in with it. Like, what's the worst that could happen if you go all in, right? Stay connected to your team. Remember, Monday nights are team training nights. Try to pencil those in, that every Monday that's a sacred set aside time for you. Every day, check in, get comfortable with checking into the team page, checking in with any message pods that maybe you're a part of, right? Remain coachable, ask questions, search for answers, right? Google will be your very, very, very best friend. And treat this, like I said, like you would a college degree, right? You put in a lot of time for a college degree and a lot of money for that. You don't have to put in a lot of money for this, but you do have to put in time. Right? So treat it like you would. When I first started my business, I was so excited to like sit down at night and like do a lesson at a time. I was hungry for that knowledge and just excited to learn all about this. Find that hunger, find that excitement for yourself. Make it your goal to help 3 people in September. Help 3 people get started this month the way that you did. Share from your experience. So if you started with a challenge pack with Shakeology, talk about why. What were the reasons you decided Shakeology was the way to go? What do you love about Shakeology? What are 3 things? Like, you don't need to know what's on the ingredient label. You don't need to know all the ins and outs, because people don't care about that. What they care about is, for me, it was super fast, so I didn't have to stop and grab a bagel and a coffee on my way to work. It was mindless. It tastes good, right? Like, it was super easy for me to just say those things. That's what people want to know about. Okay, so make it your goal in September to help 3 people. And then coming in the summer, we have an annual event where we all get together live, face-to-face. It's called Coach Summit. We're going to talk about this here in a second, how you can get a free ticket. But if you've already been a coach more than 6 months, or you've missed out on achieving this first 6-month goal, then go get your ticket. CoachSummit.com. Go get your ticket. You want to be there. My very first summit changed everything. I wouldn't be here today, and as a trickle-down effect, you wouldn't be here today. The coolest thing about this business is seeing how your one yes, your one decision in the right direction of your goals can spiderweb out to other people having an opportunity to say yes to their decisions in the direction of their goals. So it's pretty special. Every yes that I've made has allowed more people to say yes to what they've truly wanted. And you get to do that now. You get to say yes, you know what, I'm going to go to Summit. And then because you went to Summit, you inspired somebody else. And then because somebody else got inspired, it just keeps going, right? And then this is a wash, rinse, repeat business. The most successful coaches, you guys, I say it all the time, if you came over, it would be the most boring day of your life if you sat here with me, because I'm literally wash, rinsing, and repeating that tracker that I just shared with you all day, every day. Okay? But the most successful coaches are very consistent over time. My first few years in this business, you guys, I stumbled, I fell. Even after that, I still had, missteps along the way. Right? It took me a long time to find my voice on social media. I heard a lot of no's from people who didn't have money or didn't have time or didn't want to join. I've been there, right? But the one thing I had over all of it was staying power. So you've got to figure out, what's your staying power? How will you know that a year from now you'll still be here? My staying power was, I knew that if I could just keep showing up, the right people would come to me. That if I could just keep showing up, that eventually someone else would be inspired enough to take action. And so that was my staying power in the beginning. And then it grew from there. My staying power after that was, I wanted to leave the classroom. And so I'm going to show up enough so I don't have to go work for someone else, that I could work on my own terms. And then after that, my staying power became financial freedom and time freedom and just other things, right? That I've been able to set the bar high for myself. But your staying power is going to evolve. But you've got to figure out what that is. What's your why? Why are you here? Why is this important to you? And every day, even in the top of your tracker, there's a space for it. You'll see it actually right here. You write down, why are you here? Who do you want to help? Right? So write those things down. Why are you here? Who do you want to help? And the last part, so what I shared with you about getting a free ticket to Summit, is Beachbody started a new program this year, or updated their program this year rather, and it's called Success Starters. If you are in your first 6 months as a coach, you achieve Success Club in any of the first 3 months. In any 3 months of your first 6, Success Club is helping 3 people with a challenge pack. So probably the way that you got started, whether it's Beachbody On Demand and Shakeology, or Beachbody On Demand and the Performance line, or a combination, right? One of those packs. When you help somebody get started with that challenge pack, you get 2 points, okay? Basically, you need 3 people in order to hit Success Club 5 or higher. So if you help 3 people this month, and you help 3 people in October, and you help 3 people in November, okay, and you're within those first 6 months as being a coach, Beachbody will give you a free ticket to next year's Coach Summit. And this is the cool part. They'll give you an exclusive invitation to the next pilot test group. So Annie on our team, who just, she just started with us in the top of the year. And then when COVID happened, she was a work from home teacher and all this stuff. And she really took that time to just fly with her business. And she was able to lock this in. And because of that, she participated in the 30-day breakaway, the new running program that's about to come out here at the, there will be a preview workout coming out next week, but in October it comes out. And Annie was actually in the test group to pilot that program. And so she received that invitation because she hit this goal for Success Starter. And then you get the official rank and title of Success Starter, of course, which is just fun and shiny. But basically you just help 3 people. 3 months out of your first 6. So do the math. Figure out when you started in your business. If you are within those 6 months, I want this to be your goal, Success Starter. And I want you to look at Annie and other coaches on our team that have done it to know it's possible, right? That it's so totally possible to help 9 people in your first 6 months as a coach. Absolutely. So I want to rally you to do that as your very first goal. And if you can make that happen, you guys, other things that you probably want to know about, like rank and compensation and all the stuff, right? Those things will trickle down, but they're a result of you helping people. And that's where our team's heart lies, is that we're here to help others achieve their goals, right? We're achieving our goals and then we link arms and we help other people. And if you're doing that, every other goal that you have in this business will come to fruition as long as you have your face down, serving others, loving on others, and just filling up yourself as well along the way. So that's it.